Hey, how's it going, do-it-yourselfers? Today we're going to be working on this 2013 Hyundai Elantra GT. And the problem we're having with this car is that there's a clunk in the steering wheel. Let's see if you guys can hear it. Yep. Now this is a very common problem for these Hyundais and a lot of Kias. And I'll put a list of the cars that this problem will affect on the screen so you can look it up, see if it affects your car. And the problem is this coupler that you see here, Dorman part number 926-990. Where is that? And then you have slack or this clunking noise as you turn the steering wheel. And this goes between the electric motor that's for your power steering assist and your steering column. Now, in order to replace this, you need to loosen and remove your steering column and drop it, because the electric motor goes down there on top of your steering column. So to gain access to the bolts that hold that in, you need to loosen and lower this. You don't need to remove this from the steering shaft. So it's fairly easy process, but in order to drop this, you'll need to remove this cover. You need to remove this kick panel. There's an airbag that needs to be removed. You need to remove this cover to gain access to the screws on the side. There's all sorts of connectors, electrical connectors and whatnot. Those have to also be removed. And then there's a couple of nuts and bolts that hold this steering column to the body. You need to remove those. Then you can lower this and then gain access to the motor. So that's what we're going to do today. But since we're going to be messing with connections to the airbag, we're going to first disconnect our battery. All right, so you have this connector that you need to remove if it's not broken on yours. On ours, it's broken. Looks like someone had used a zip tie in the past to hold this in. Obviously, it did not hold, so we get that out of the way. And then we loosen 10mm nut on top, get this out of the way, tuck it someplace safe, or wrap it around a rag so it can't jump back and make contact either with the negative terminal or the chassis. All right, next we're going to remove this cover. There are two Phillips head screws, one on each side, one here, and the other one right on there. And then there's also one screw at the bottom of these covers, that guy right there, that we'll need to remove. There's one, and here's this one on the other side. All right, next with some wiggling and tilting, this should come out, this bottom piece. The top piece is held in by, I'll show you in a little bit. Yeah, this top piece is held in by another cover. There's clips inside, you can remove those, but you don't actually need to remove this top piece because this is going to be tilted down, so that's not really in the way. All right, next it's time for this bottom kick panel. We'll get this fuse cover out the way. Then we'll need to get this OBD2 connector out the way. We use a flathead screwdriver to push in these tabs on the sides. Push that through. All right, next we need to remove this cover. You can either try to push it out from the inside or again use these panel removers. You may or may not have to remove this weather stripping. There we go. Once you get a little bit of it loose, the rest of it will come out. And then there's two Phillips head screws on this side, one here, one there, that we'll need to remove. There we go. And then this panel should pop loose. Don't yank on it too hard because you might break stuff, but go around the circumference. We're gonna go on this side first. Find that wiggling it will be your best bet, like that. All right, there's an HVAC duct down here that's held in by this one Phillips head screw. So we're gonna remove that one next. And this should just slide out, this guy right here. And then we gotta remove our airbag. This is held in by two 10mm nuts, one on each side. All right, make that three. There's one more here down here. So we gently pull this out, then we go to the back. All right, so in order to remove this connector, we simply push up on this white part, like that, and then pull the connector out. And then make sure to put your airbag somewhere that's facing up, not facing down. All right, so let me show you where we are right now so you get a good idea what you need to do. So there's our motor, if this camera focuses. There's our motor right there. We need to remove that from the steering column to get to that coupling. And in order to do that, we need to drop this column. This is held in by, there's two, I think they're 14mm, one on each side. So we need to remove those, and then there's another bolt in the back we'll need to get to later. But in order for this to be able to drop and not damage anything, we need to remove some of these connectors. Now, you can go ahead and remove as many connectors as you see just to be on the safe side if you want, but the things that you will need to remove are the ones that are not connected to your steering column. and are going to be put under pressure when you go to lower this. So that includes this connector right here that we're going to get out of the way right now. Then on this side of our module, all these three connectors are actually connected to our steering column, and then they will lower with our steering column. We will lower the steering column, so they won't be put under any strain. On this side, however, this connector that you see goes back here, so that one we'll need to remove. This one is held in by this connector with this blue locking tab that you need to pull out first. Then you press on this bottom tab, and then it pulls out. Go ahead and tuck that away. And then there's your brake light switch. You should remove that to be on the safe side. I'm not going to remove it because I'm going to be very careful when I lower and put this back. But if you're doing this for the first time or you're not very good at this, go ahead and remove that, because you could, when you lower this, you could hit that and break it. And then up top, see how this wiring harness, this one, it's not connected to our power steering column, and it goes back here and splits off and goes that way. So all the connectors that go to this wiring harness, this guy, this guy, this guy, there's another connector or two on the other side. All of these have to be removed, and this wiring harness has to be disconnected from our steering column and set aside so that we can lower this steering column. All right, so first, here's one for our signal lights, our headlights actually, and signal lights. And then there's this guy, like that. Then there's another connector back here that we'll need to remove. And then the wiring harness itself, probably needle nose pliers will work best, but I'm going to try to see if I can do it with my flathead. There we go. All right, so in order to drop this steering column, as I mentioned earlier, there are two nuts, one on each side, one here, one on the other side, and then there's also one bolt that goes across that's up there that there's no way I can get my camera in there to show you, but I might be able to show you after I remove it. But we need to remove that bolt first. It's a longer bolt. So we'll remove that actually first, and then we'll come up here, loosen these, and then we'll loosen them completely and then drop the steering column. One thing to note, if you want to be on the safe side, if you really want to be on the safe side, you might want to not only remove all the connectors, but also remove this module, because as you drop that steering column, you don't want that to land on anything and get damaged. So if you want to be on the safe side, go ahead and remove all of that and then do what I'm about to do. I'm actually going to put this seat cushion right down here. So if that, just in case that module comes all the way down, it drops on this seat cushion. All right, so this should give you a decent point of reference. Here I got my wrench in there. There's a 3-inch extension with a long socket, 14mm socket. That's where the bolt is. So now we're just gonna simply, hopefully, twist this loose. There we go. Being mindful of where our brake light switch is. We don't want to damage that. All right, we got it. There are 2 washers on this guy. Don't lose them. All right, next, these 2 nuts. These are actually 12mm. The bolt was 14mm. So we'll start loosening this. We're not going to completely remove them. We're just going to loosen them out. And I can actually see already the steering column moving. Okay, so the steering column is about to come down. I need to get you guys out of the way. All right, so we're just gonna move it around one last time. Make sure when it comes down, no wires are gonna be holding it up or being in the way. Then we'll remove one nut and then the second one. And again, gently lowering it, watching all the wires, watching our brake light switch, all that good stuff. Did I f up? No, I don't think so. All right, we're gonna actually tilt this to the side. Now we have access to the motor. I never f up. All right, so here's how things look with the steering column down. One thing to note is that the brake light switch, you should definitely try to remove it if you haven't done this before, because the clearances, now that I'm looking at it, are gonna be very tight. In fact, there's a very good chance you're gonna run into it. But then again, you put this to the side, and then here's our motor. In order to get this off, there's 3 T30 torque screws that you need to remove, 2 that you can see right now, 1, 2, and then the third one is behind that. So we're gonna remove those next and pull this motor out. There's 1, 2, and the third one. So now, there's a look at our mess. All right, so here's a closer look. With our motor out the way, you can see where the old coupler sits. The old one is made out of some poor rubber material, I assume. Over time, it wears out, it disintegrates, becomes this mess, and then there's a slop and play and then that, as a result, that clunking sound or noise from your steering wheel. So next, we're going to clean this up. All right, so first, I'm going to get the big piece out. This guy right here, it's the old one, super pliable, super old rubbery piece of garbage. And then we're going to use some rags, picks, screwdriver, and whatnot to clean this up. This doesn't have to be squeaky clean, so you don't have to use brake clean or any kind of solvent to clean this. Take your time. It only takes a few minutes to clean this up. It's not super hard to clean. All right, next we'll grab our new coupler. We lay it down nice and flat. Make sure it goes in nice and flat. Then bring the new motor in. This is the part that needs to move around for it to be able to sit on the new coupler. There we go. We'll run this top one down. That should hold it in place. Then this one on the side. Then we're gonna tighten these. Don't know the torque spec for these, but make sure they're nice and tight. Nothing crazy. All right, so here's a couple of things to keep in mind. Here's the bolt for our steering column. See, it goes through this bracket right here. This bolt goes through this bracket, screws into the back of that. And then this rectangle on the back, there's a tab on the steering column side. See, right now this is tilted to the side, tilted to the left. So you need to straighten this out and put this back in. And then this tab in the back needs to go through that rectangle, and then you put the screw in. All right, again, keep a very close eye on your brake light switch. Make sure you don't damage that. And then, this is awkward as hell. I think we got it in there. We'll see. Yep, it's in there. I'm actually gonna put one or two of these nuts in this upper stud, so this is held in place. Actually, one will do. Then we'll go back in there and make sure that this is in place. Yep, and then we're gonna have to wiggle the steering column and then press in our bolts. All right, we're gonna back this out a little bit just so we have play back here. I think we got some threads now. Yep. All right, next we'll tighten it up with a ratchet. And these two guys up top. All right, next we need to reinstall our connectors. First, this guy that went here. Then this connector that went down here. We'll make sure when we put that in, we'll press in this blue security tab. Then around the steering column, one good way to know where everything goes is to put this clip back in, then everything sort of falls into place. Plus, these are not really, you can't really misplace these. They only fit in one connector up here at least. Go put that there. All right, next we'll grab our airbag, put the connector back on, then reinstall it back on these studs, run down these nuts, and then we need to reinstall this air duct that goes down here. Make sure you put it over the housing correctly. Then you put this Phillips head screw back in. There's that. All right, next we're gonna put this cover back on. So you gotta make sure you just line these tabs up with the corresponding holes, and then up top at least, and then the other ones you kind of just wiggle until you find it, and it will just snap into place on its own. It's pretty easy. And then there's one Phillips head screw on this side that we'll need to run in, and then two Phillips head screws on this end. And then we grab our data link connector, push this through, line it up here, and then we'll just slide it in, and there. It should click into place. Make sure you can't push it back out. And then we'll reinstall this panel for our fuse box. And then this side panel, again, line up the tabs first. Don't start pushing on it too hard before you make sure they're all in. All right, last but not least, this upper steering wheel cover. Click it into place first on both sides. There. And then we'll run in our screws. We're not gonna torque him down or tighten him with this. We're just running him down for now. And then we'll hand tighten it with our screwdriver and one last screw that goes on the bottom. And here you have it, folks. No more clunking from our steering wheel. There's a noise here that sounds like what it is, but it's not coming from our steering wheel. It's coming from further down there, maybe one of our tie rods or the rack and pinion and whatnot, but at least not from our steering wheel anymore.